I'm here in the Say It Loud, Say It Proud tent. My man, Brother Jeff and Ty, we in the mix. Brother Jeff just got back from Ethiopia. Uh, he got to see the Ark of the Covenant. A lot of things a lot of people don't get to see in their lifetime at all. Brother Jeff, how was Ethiopia? How did that go for you?
And when you think about Ethiopia, I mean, remember the Greeks named it Ethiopia because they were talking about it was like the land of the burnt-faced people. It's also known as Abyssinia and
Eritrea,
other places.
Kenten no fair.
Oh man! But the bottom line, whatever you call it, it is one of the birthplaces of civilization. I mean, they've had dynasties and actual artifacts that people don't get an opportunity to see, because if you had a chance to see it, then it would dispel this myth of white supremacy. It's not about that. It's really about knowing who you are and where you're from. And it's not using who you are and where you're from to put anybody else down to build yourself up, but it's basically, if each one teaches one, we could rise together. But black folks need to know that they have a history beyond these shores that marvels the modern intellect. And I was able to see, touch, and feel some of that.
Yeah, I seen you in Axum. I've been posting your picture up all over the place. Like, look, that's family right there, and he in places y'all can't go right now. But when you say black people have family across the shores, what do you think, and what should we be doing concerning business practices with the continent, doing different negotiations and family unison to bring Africa and African Americans or American Africans together? What should we be doing?
The first thing we got to know is that there's no disconnect. Just because we're in different parts of the planet doesn't mean that we're not one. And so when we recognize each other as family, then we're able to interact as family. And what does family do? They take care of each other. They protect each other. They share resources, and they look for the better, and they look for the best hope of each other. And so there's no real difference between Africans and African Americans. And if you want to even get deeper than that, there's no difference between humanity. You know, that early first seed that began to germinate and to populate everything and everywhere. But for right now, those who find themselves on the bottom and being exploited, it's really because of a lack of unity, a lack of understanding, and sometimes misinformation. So I would say first, educate yourself. You know, people are still asking me, are lions running around? Do people have food to eat? You know what I mean?
Stupid questions.
People living in you know,
They've had black presidents. We just got our first one.
Yeah, and so, you know, the bottom line is there's a lot to learn, keep learning, and, you know, we can't learn it all at once. Maybe sometimes, like I was talking to Tyrone, sometimes we just need to touch base with each other and learn one thing at a time.
Right.
And build on that and say, look, what did you see? What are you learning? And how can we pass it on to some of these young people that we're seeing here at this festival? And that's what I'm most excited about, the young people learning from those of us who have seen a couple of things.
Absolutely. Tyrone, speaking of which, financially, we think you're the man right now. What would you say financially we need to do to connect with the continent, the brothers and sisters on the continent, and what should be done concerning our economics here in America as Africans, and even things of political stance, like how should we be voting? That was a big question, wasn't it? Won't win.
That's a couple of heavy questions you got from me right now. Right, if I had to answer, I think first and foremost we need trust amongst each other. I think that's what we lack, so we don't have businesses established to where we feel like we can do business with each other and do it with integrity. And those are some of the things I feel like is a starting point. We need to start working together, building trust, and showing our level of integrity on everything that we do. And I think, as once said, the hardest thing to get rid of is an idea well planted. And they've been planting ideas in our brain for many, many years to where it's disconnected us to the earth, disconnected us to ourselves. And I feel as though we need to do more self-discipline and become more self-improved and knowledgeable of who we are as human beings, and then work with the other pieces. That's what's lacking. I feel like we need to really put a lot of emphasis on developing our characters, and then we can get into business, and then we can have more trust when we're doing business, so we're not everybody's for themselves, working not harmonious in the community. So those are some of the things that I would suggest for the community to build on yourself and share that dollar within the network. But we need businesses, and one thing that's lacking is we don't really have those businesses. So it's time to create our own stores, create our own base, and make it sustainable. I know it's people who open up businesses, but it's gone within the first year. So why is that? Because we're not supporting each other. And I think that's something that we can improve to forward our mission.
Now he
Hey
just
man, one more thing. Come to Black Arts Festival.
yeah, because you
Meet
see all
some
these
folks and do
businesses
some
out here.
business
like-
with the folks and drum with them, dance with them, sing with them, spin with them, absorb and get a feeling and put it in your cellular DNA of
He
what
just
it
talked
feels
the
like
drummer up.
to go ahead and be together as one. Speaking of the drum,
Now we've got about 5 schools of thought here. You got your brother Heck in the chair, Ma'at. That's how I get down. That's my moral belief. Former Salafi Muslim. We got my Muslim brother here, brother Jeff. We both just finished the fast. It's African based, also Islamically based. And we also got my brother with the Ankh on. And then we got the 5% Nation in the building. You guys, I'm going to ask each one of you, how do we unify our spiritual systems, our morality codes? Because you don't have to this, you don't have to that, you don't have to whatever the case. But how do we unify our spiritual moral codes when it comes to doing business and when it comes to teaching the children? What should we be saying in the homes, and how should we unify on our spirituality?
I'm gonna just follow with what Brother Tyrone said. If we develop our character to the point to where we have character, to where we just it holds in the trust and togetherness, I think that really resonates. Developing the self, building the character, and if that's one path for one person, another path for another person, we know what integrity looks like at the end of the day.
My brother Ty,
My man has something.
You want fast?
I won't let him go ahead and say- I got an answer, but I won't let him speak.
we with the younger brothers here.
I don't know. I definitely agree with what these fellas said. I think first, before we begin talking about organizing financially and spiritually and things of that nature, we need to all come to the realization that we all occupy the same space first. And even if these experiences don't really resonate with you, it still affects you because you're part of humanity. So it's affecting all of us. But I agree completely with what these guys said, though. Before all that starts, we have to be on the same level as humans before we go into those levels that divide us, like religion and just the standards that people are living by. So,
just keep it basic. I think with all our school of thoughts, it's like a university. And I feel like we are all different subjects of who we are. These different classes.